The beauty of watching life move through a street is so fascinating that when you're walking alone, you barely notice it, but in every car there's a person with thoughts and feelings. In a life just as complicated and meaningful as yours, on every window of that car or apartment you walk by, there are all these different universes colliding with each other, different problems, different strokes. It's like if they were extras in your movie. The default arrangement that we have with the rest of society happens because it's exactly what we are to each other. Extras in this big, crowded set. Levitate, the podcast with me, your host, Albert Xavier, starts now. Hey, thank you. Thank you for tuning into my new podcast, Levitate the Podcast, a visual podcast that's going to transcend you to other universes and other spaces just so that you can break away from these hard times that we're all living and trying to find that sanity to get away from the insanity and be able to figure out where our peace is within ourselves. I know we started off, I kind of started off this show very upbeat and very up-driven, that's the kind of person that I am. But to be that way, to get to where I am, to be as hype as I am, you have to find that inner peace and be able to dance with your spirit. And right now, with everything that's going on out there, man, in this world, it's like, geez, man, it's just, I don't even really want to even touch that topic, but we're heading to some really, really dark times, and everyone is lost with an uncertain future. My podcast is based out of the United States, and we're living in a country where right now it's very divided. This podcast is not a political podcast. We're not going to be praising Satan in this house, because this is a space where we're all going to come together and learn from one another as I share my experiences with you and grew up with Caribbean roots to learn how to allow my ancestors and spirits to guide me. We're going to root out the causes of how I believe that everything happens for a reason. In your mind, you have to figure out how to listen to your instinct when you're in a situation and you're not sure of what it is you're going to do. I'm going to get people on here that has motivated me to motivate you to take you on a journey to where you have never been before. I'll be able to help you levitate your spirit so that you can take that one step forward from where you were yesterday. This is a podcast where we're going to be talking about life, spirituality, peace within yourself, finding yourself, understanding the meaning of why you're here and you're still alive on this planet, in this universe. Most importantly, how to communicate with your spirit. Because every single one of us has a spirit or spirits that guide us or misguide us. And you need to understand that instincts exist. They're real. They're very, very real. And a lot of people just don't understand how to read them or see them or hear them or feel them. I'm going to show you how to do that and much more. From time to time, I'm going to give out some remedies on how to give yourself spiritual baths, how to clean your home. And I'm not talking about cleaning it with a piece of sage and lighting it up and stuff and stinking it up. No, I'm talking about I'm going to be giving out recipes with herbs and spices and no, we're not going to eat it, but we're going to indulge our physical being into it so that we can actually find and feel that light. And when you stand in front of that mirror, you will see an aura around you. I'm here to expose the truth of so many things that I lived and how I embattled them to be able to move forward with my life. I'm going to do that with me sharing my experiences with you. If I have to call you out, I'm going to call you out, and I'm going to say why I'm going to call you out. Or you might just be lucky and I'll keep you anonymous, right? So you'll also get to hear other motivational speakers like the one that you're about to hear today. I want to start off my first podcast episode with one of my favorite motivational speakers of all times. Here he is, ladies and gents, Denzel Washington.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I can't sing. I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed, and I prayed. But I continued to fail, and fail, and fail. But it didn't matter, because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. So imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? I just got back from South Africa. It's a beautiful country, but there are places there with terrible poverty that need help. And Africa is just the tip of the iceberg. The Middle East needs your help. Japan needs your help. Alabama needs your help. Tennessee needs your help. Louisiana needs your help. Philadelphia needs your help. The world needs a lot, and we need it from you. We really do. We need it from you young people. I mean, I'm not speaking for the rest of us up here, but I know I'm getting a little grayer. We need it from you, the young people, because remember this. You got to get out there. You got to give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures. What are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you are business majors, some of you are theologians, nurses, sociologists, some of you have money, some of you have patience, some of you have kindness, some of you have love, some of you have the gift of long suffering, whatever it is, whatever your gift is. What are you going to do with what you have? All right, now here's my last point about failure. Sometimes it's the best way to figure out where you're going. Your life will never be a straight path. I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis. I couldn't read it, I couldn't say it, I sure couldn't pass it. So then I decided to go into pre-law, then journalism. And with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. I was a 1.8 GPA. And the university very politely suggested that it might be better to take some time off. I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. And I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in the mirror, and every time I looked at the mirror, I could see her behind me, and she was staring at me. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head and she said something I'll never forget. She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy." She said, "You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." And in the years that followed, just as that woman prophesied, I have traveled the world and I have spoken to millions of people through my movies. Millions who up till this day couldn't see me, who up till this day I couldn't see while I was talking to them, and they couldn't see me, they could only see the movie. They couldn't see the real me. But I see you today, and I'm encouraged by what I see. And I'm strengthened by what I see. Because taking risk is not just about going for a job. It's also about knowing what you know and what you don't know. It's about being open to people and to ideas. The chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you. Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give everything you got. And when you fall throughout life, remember this: fall forward.